Hello, and welcome to the Get at Gaming Plus podcast. I am Alex,
I'm Ben.
and we're your bi-weekly podcast where we talk about whatever we want to talk about. Sometimes that is video games, sometimes that's anime, sometimes that's TV, cartoons, movies, whatever we want to talk about. You can find us on audio services such as Spotify. You can also find us on YouTube at youtube.com/getatgaming. You can enjoy things that we've done specifically on YouTube, such as previews or other exclusive episodes on there. More to come, especially this year, as well as Spotify. You can enjoy just audio versions. You can enjoy it on iTunes. We're really trying to do Spotify, so if you can support us on Spotify, follow us there, subscribe there. We would really appreciate that. Today, man, I sound like a PBS like person. You know what I mean? Like I'm very
Yeah,
soft
at the very
spoken.
beginning where they're like,
Yeah,
what you
viewers
have to
like
say is
you.
like,
Thank you. Yeah,
yes, you have to say that
yeah.
because they even did that on Sesame Street.
Man, remember PBS at a certain time where they would have see now we're already at the tangent. Where they would have like the rows of people on phones and like they would be answering the
Oh
phones
yeah,
and stuff like that. For like the what is it? Like not crowdfunding, but like just funding in general. Um yeah, I remember those commercials where before and after or like Bob Ross or something you would see just people on the telephones answering phones and talking about, hey, you should donate money into PBS because we have Bob Ross, and you're like, all right, sure. We also have
I
Arthur,
re-
so that's cool.
I remember that because like they would always like, oh, so you can enjoy great programs like Bob Ross or or Sesame Street or Reading Rainbow,
Yeah.
um, which is crazy. Like they used to do that. Um, I told my dad I wanted my job to be one of those people that answer the phone for them. And now that I have a job where I'm on the phone a lot, I'm like, "Oh, this is not fun.
Mm-hmm.
Not fun."
It's not, but you know what is fun? Um,
What's that?
Today's episode. Hopefully you enjoy it. We're gonna be talking about live action shows from Nickelodeon from 1990 to 2002. We are doing a tier list. There might be a couple things in here that we may not actually like know about, and that's okay. Um, and there might be things in here that might move around. Like I forgot this existed. Like now I'm looking at certain things here. I'm excited.
Yeah,
Um,
so I made the list, but I want everyone to know these are only live action. There's 2 specifically I did not put in here. Uh, a couple actually that were actually broadcasts, that didn't hit that 90s range. I think it was like 88, 89.
mhm,
Um, like, for instance, you can't do that on television.
mhm.
And Out of Control were both ones that were like 89. You Can't Do That on Television went to like 87, and then they brought it back late 2000s. I didn't know this. Um, but that's not on the list either. I just picked some of the ones I feel like are well known. Alex and I were talking about this one day. We spent like an hour talking about, God, this was like the golden era of Nickelodeon,
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
Um, we will do an animated one.
Mhm.
That one to me is gonna be very hard because I'm wondering how me and Alex are. I think we're gonna have a problem with grading on that. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We will do one though.
Yeah, there's certain things that like I remember really enjoying as a kid, but like now I'm just like, man, I don't really like this show anymore. So like
I
it might be lower. Here's a sneak peek. Invader Zim is a lot lower on my list than it used to be.
I have tried to go back and watch some of these older ones, like Ren and Stimpy still makes me laugh, but Ren and Stimpy now as an adult, I'm like, how did my parents like say yes, you could watch this? Because it was definitely not for kids. Um,
It's not.
I don't I don't think I could go back and watch Doug.
I
I'll throw
love
that out
Doug.
there.
So there's two different Dougs though. There's this Doug, which is I think is better. And then there's a Disney Doug, which is a little too Disney, I guess.
Yeah, I never watched the Disney one. I just watched the other one. I don't know that I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, I can't say that because at this moment now, I've almost finished every season of Are You Afraid of the Dark? So, which by the way, my kids are terrified.
I mean, I was too. Don't blame
Yeah,
me.
I watch it, I'm like, this is not scary. But yet again, adult. But yes, so this
Yeah.
list is interesting. I know
Yeah,
you
it
looked at it
is.
beforehand.
I noticed something that isn't on this list, but I'm also wondering, is it not on this list because it syndicated on Nickelodeon? Um, where did Goosebumps originally air?
Goosebumps was Fox.
Okay, because I remember watching that on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, so originally it was on Fox. So it was part of Fox Kids,
Okay.
and it was to combat against Are You Afraid of the Dark? The
Hmm.
difference was Saturday mornings was Goosebumps, Saturday night was Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Just curious. Because yeah, it's been a while. Um, I don't know if I want to start with that one, so we'll go to the next one.
Just just pick a random one and you can start with it.
All right,
I don't think
I'm
we have
gonna
to go in order.
I'm gonna not look and grab something. Oh, are you afraid of the dark? Because my
Okay,
monitor is over here, and I was looking over here. So uh,
I wanna say this is an 8, and this is just me, nostalgia of watching this show. It was the beginning of teen horror. I love horror in general. Me and Alex are different in one thing, and that's horror and horror games. I don't really like horror games,
throw
but
the
I really like.
sand on the fire and make it.
Yes.
Yeah,
I loved that. It was like teen, horror, which
yeah,
was unheard of at this point, except for the Goosebumps
yeah.
stuff. But I think it's great. I think as I'm watching through the seasons, I feel like they ran out of material,
Hmm.
as where Goosebumps had so many books,
Yeah, it did.
you know?
They still do. Yeah,
Yeah, and they're redoing Goosebumps.
yeah.
So David Schwimmer's in the new
I
season.
saw
I haven't
that.
watched them. I liked the other season. It's definitely very much teen.
Hmm.
Um, my
Okay.
kids get freaked out when they watch this. They would be totally freaked out at Goosebumps. I mean, what are your thoughts for
Um,
Are You Mark?
I remember watching it. I remember being freaked out by it because I was just young. Because Are You Afraid of the Dark? Um, what year was that? Trying to look. I can't see it. What year was Are You Afraid of the Dark? Oh, I'm in comedy. That's why. Drama. I don't see it. Oh, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Wait, no, that's 2019. I don't know where Are You
Yeah,
Afraid of
that's
the Dark is, but
uh, August 15th, 1992 was the very first episode.
okay. So I probably watched it more when it was being syndicated and Teen Nicked. So probably in like 97, I would probably say. Um, I remember it freaking me out. I wouldn't say it's a bad show because I remember watching it. Um, there were certain ages or certain stories, or depending on when it aired at night or day or whatever, I might watch it. But if it was like at night, I'd avoid it because I'm like, I don't want to watch scary stuff at night. It's like playing
That's the
Bioshock
best
at
time to
night. Don't
watch
do
it.
that. So yeah, I think A is a good place for it for now. These can change depending on what we see later. Um, looking at all these so far, I don't know if there's going to be an S. I really don't.
I agree with you on that. I don't think, and people are going to be upset when they listen to the episode or watch it. Um, these were all great shows, but if you were to go back today and rewatch these shows, because
Hmm.
when in my youth, a lot of these shows were great. I've tried to go back and watch some of them, and it's been difficult because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not good. Um,
Yeah.
and we'll get into some of those there, but I agree. I don't think any of these are S. I don't know if there's any of these are F level, but we'll have to wait. Well, there's one that's like D or F. I know for a fact.
Linda Ellerby. Um,
No, that
okay.
was okay.
Okay.
That
I
one's
thought you were
okay.
just gonna be like, no news for me.
That one was okay.
Uh, man, at least you don't have what's that called? The Nickelodeon go outside and play, like whatever that is, where it's just like
Oh, yeah.
here's 12 hours of just kids playing outside noises, and it just says you need to go outside.
Yeah, that was crazy because like, that when that happened, it was, like, it was in the summer, right?
Yeah,
I remember? And, like, that was, like, what I wanted to do for the summer was just chill and watch
it was
Nickelodeon.
on like a Saturday too.
Yeah, like, that was the keen day to watch Nickelodeon. Um, they did Snick though, didn't they? It wasn't a Saturday, was it?
It was a Saturday morning ish afternoon.
Yeah, I think they did Snick though, because that's, like, their highest
Yeah,
rated.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
They did those, but it's like at a certain point, probably until like 4 p.m. They'd be like, yeah, don't watch TV. Um,
I remember that because I had to go with my dad's like, "Hey, why don't you go outside?" Thank you, Nickelodeon.
yeah, thanks Nickelodeon. That's why we hate being outside. Look at us.
Yeah,
Um, but anyway, I'm gonna choose another one. So you can tell I'm choosing something because, like I said, it's over here. I'm not looking. I'm looking only at the camera. Amanda show.
that's a D.
Um, a D.
Okay,
The
I'm gonna
lobsters.
I didn't get the humor. I guess this came
Drake
out
and Josh.
I was a little bit older. So in the 90s, I was in high school. Okay. I'm old. I get it. But a lot of the shows I did like. Like I liked Keenan Cal. Um, I liked Are You Afraid of the Dark? I loved Ren and Stimpy. I liked everything on Snick pretty much. This show I didn't really care for. I guess I was just too old. But I'll let you pick it because this maybe was one that you were like, it was okay.
Um, Amanda show's not a D. I think it's a C. I really like. There are certain sketches that I really enjoy. Um, because this was essentially all that, but like when all that was like kind of like dying and just changing. Um, but it was focused with Amanda Bynes. Yeah, I know it's Dan Schneider, all that, but it had Drake Bell and Josh Peck before Drake and Josh started, and
Yeah.
so they were on there. The mom from Drake and Josh was also like just a variety character. Um, I know there's some other people just randomly on there too. Um, but I love when my one favorite joke from this, and I used to quote this all the time with like my friends and stuff, even to this day. Um, there'd be where Drake and Josh would play like mobsters, and like Drake would just like hit Josh and be like, "What was that for?" Well, be an idiot. Okay. And like that was just like the thing that just like kept happening. Like Josh would like mess up and then you get hit and be like, "What was that for?"
That's
Um, yeah.
Yeah, I remember when it would come on, I'd be like, "Nope, not watching it. This is annoying." But again, younger cast, I was a little bit older,
Mm-hmm.
to me, it just didn't, you know. And before you ask, you're asking, "Hey, you were in high school, Ben. What were you doing home on a Saturday night?" Because I was in high school in a small town where my dad was a pastor of a very large church in a small town. I mean, like the police chief went there. What do you think I was going to do? I was getting in no trouble, zero trouble. So I was at home on my 24-inch tube TV watching Snick.
Man, you're lame. But anyway,
Yeah, pretty
I
much.
mean, same. The difference between me and you was I was playing video games like Xbox and stuff like that at the time. All right, so I think it's a C. I don't think it's D territory. Again, I don't think there are probably many Fs in this, but the Drake and Josh elements and some of the random um like fake commercials and stuff I really enjoyed. I didn't really enjoy the stuff with Amanda Bynes for the most part. Um I really enjoyed just the ensemble cast and the other random stuff around her. Um
Yeah.
And so if she was better, then I would say this would go up a little more, but yeah. Um okay, another one. Here it is.
Oh god, Pete and Pete. Um, gosh. Wha let you do your piece first because I have my own thoughts on it, but
So, I remember watching Pete and Pete. It's been a long time since I watched Pete and Pete. I remember really enjoying it. Um, but from when I watched it, there were other things I'd rather watch. Now that's not to say because I was younger, and that's not to say that the show was bad. I think it had a lot of good stories and stuff in it. As when I was older, like when I did appreciate more. So like I probably last time I watched this is probably the last time I watched like Keenan and Kel. So that was probably like 2009, 2010. When I tried to watch it when I was older. I think it floats in the A and B category because I just don't think there are any S's here. I think it's probably
yeah,
better than Are You Afraid of the Dark? Um, because I think the cast, what they try to do, I think it's just better.
I agree. I think I was telling this to Alex, every year I showed my kids a couple years ago, Pete and Pete Halloweenies episode. Every year, my one son, who's 7 now, will literally wanna watch that every week. Um, I think it's a great show with a great cast. I had no idea how many people were on that show that were famous.
Yeah.
Um, like, I'm gonna show my age, a group called REM, Michael Stipe was on there. Iggy Pop is on there, which is hilarious because when he was back doing music, he was not kid friendly. Um, he was
Hmm.
not. Um, just all these crazy guests on there. The only thing that I look back now and I'm like, hey, that's probably not appropriate. Obviously, Artie, the adult Superman, superhuman person that kind of helps out Pete sometimes. Now you look at it now, you're like, yeah, there's something wrong with that relationship. But um, which is hilarious because that guy's a director now. I
Is he? Oh yeah, he is Toby Huss.
yeah,
Okay, he's in King of the Hill.
yeah,
Huh.
it's pretty crazy. Um, I think the show is well written. It's just enough goofiness
Hmm.
for that. I love in the open, and not only that, the band they got to do the very beginning of the show music was a pretty decent sized alternative band for the 90s.
Hmm.
So to me, that's what got me was I love that there, and I don't know. I think it's a well written show, so I'd say it's a little above that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think it fits the highest A so far. That and was this Danny Tamborelli's first thing?
I think so. Yeah.
Because then he went to all that, and like that's where I know him more for. Like just a lot of his sketch characters and stuff. But yeah, okay, cool.
If you go to these like 90s cons or whatever they're called, I swear like half of these people were there.
Yeah, I believe
I'm
it.
not even kidding.
All right, I am looking over here. There we go, Mr. Miyagi.
I think he
Uh,
was only in like 1 or 2 episodes, by the way. Was he in every episode?
I don't remember, but I barely remember this show. Um, I know it exists, and I know I watched it. I don't know where to put Alex Wu or not Shelby Wu. Sorry, I was getting things Secret World of Alex Mack confused. Um, yeah, Shelby Wu. I don't know where this would go. Do you?
I mean, I never really watched it, so it's gonna be kind of hard. By the way, Pat Morita was in 29 episodes.
Out of 41.
So I take it he was a very big part of it.
When
Um,
did Pat Morita die? 2005. Okay.
I mean, I I don't know where you'd wanna put it. I would say the reason I would say D, where you have it, is because I didn't watch it. I know there was, like, a bunch of crazy stuff with it because it got its first season, and then something happened before the second season. I don't know, there was, like, a bunch of craziness that happened.
Yeah, there's
Uh,
4 seasons total, but, like, the way that the seasons are really weird, like, 6 episodes, 7, 8, and then 20.
yeah, something happened. I can't remember what it was. So, but
Wait,
they
what happened? Hold up. Did they not
now we're
release? There's, like, a listing of all these episodes. So, season 4, it looks like there's listings for, like, who directed them, the titles, what happened, but then I don't think they ever released because it just says TBA
yeah, and then
for
when you get
some
to
of
season
them.
5, there's no plot lines.
Yeah.
I know there was something crazy with it, like the contract got there's a documentary that talks about Nickelodeon in the starting in the late 80s, early 90s, and I know they talked about this show a little bit
Yeah.
because she's in it. She's in the documentary. I just can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I feel like I would've I feel like being more into this now because of me liking Detective Conan and stuff like that. Like, this seems kind of like live action Conan to a degree. But yeah, I just don't. I remember, like I said, like I remember watching some of this. I remember it existing. I just don't know specifically. I will say that in 2014, it did come out on Amazon. You could buy it DVD there of the whole show.
Yeah,
So I'm wondering if, yeah, like it didn't fully release, but then the episodes that didn't release just came out on that DVD or something like that. So,
yeah.
so yeah, I guess we can put it in. We can put it in D for now. If we want to change one of these last tiers to just didn't watch, we can. Um, it just depends on if we find an actual F or not. Okay. Clarissa explains it all. Is this your F?
No,
Okay.
no, believe it or not, no.
All right.
What are your thoughts on it?
How was that boy allowed to just climb through her window just all the
Sam?
time with the ladder and stuff? You know, just
I think
no
that was
repercussions.
yeah, I think that was Sam. They always played that music when he would walk through the window too.
Yeah,
I
I
liked
remember
Ferguson.
watching. I remember watching this all the time.
Yeah,
Because um, this show, especially when Nickelodeon was young, for quite a while, there was just so much syndication.
yeah,
Like from because it's like I guess I don't want to date myself, but I guess I don't really care per se. Like, I was born in 92, so like this coming out in 91 to 94, um I do remember watching this because these shows were still syndicated until probably 99, until
yeah,
SpongeBob came out, I would say. And then the shift of things moved to SpongeBob and cartoons again more so. And yeah, so I would say that I've watched a lot of this. I mean, this is I never it at this time I never watched Sabrina the Teenage Witch except the Deke show, the cartoon. Because I watched like Sonic the Hedgehog and stuff and Inspector Gadget, so that was all Deke. Um, but I watched Clarissa Explains It All like a lot. And this was like in an era as well where it's just like I was just watching it because I thought it was enjoyable or whatever. But like I never thought of it as like, oh man, I'm watching a girl's show. Like I never thought of that because like it didn't
no.
feel like that. Um,
A lot of these
yeah,
shows that were like teenish didn't feel like a girl or boy show. They
yeah,
just felt like that level. And she was like, 14 or I don't know how old she was when she did. She always talked about driving, and then her brother Ferguson was always like causing trouble. Um, but I liked how she talked to the camera too, you know?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. There's a very much a fourth wall break, talking to the audience, and yeah, I don't. It felt relatable, but also like it wasn't relatable for me, but it didn't really matter
Right,
at that
right.
age. But yeah, I don't know. I just remember really enjoying it. I remember really liking the theme song because it's like a better. I don't know if it's a better Doug theme song, but like it's in the same vein. Instead of doo doo doos, it's na na nas. But I would say, because I don't know how many things I'm actually gonna move around. I think Clarissa's probably a B.
I give you that. I liked it. Um, I think the saddest thing on some of this list here is a lot of this stuff you can't really watch anymore.
Yeah.
Unless you watch
Um,
it on you can watch it on YouTube, but that's it.
yeah. Because I don't know, like you said, oh, there was gonna be a reboot and then it didn't happen. Um,
She's too busy doing Hallmark movies.
Various episodes of the 5 seasons are available on Paramount Plus.
They took a bunch of stuff down,
Yeah,
but yeah, as of right now, you could watch them. So if you wanna watch them, that's the place to get on there and watch them. Because
yeah,
I know they took a ton of stuff down from Paramount Plus.
I-
Tons.
yeah, and that's the only way you could watch it. It looks like you could buy season one on iTunes or like even Xbox and PlayStation back in the day, but it looks like really you just have to adhere to Paramount to
Yeah.
watch it. So, all right. Um, Double Dare. I lied. There might be an S here.
I loved Double Dare. I watched this show. It started off early, like late in the 80s
hmm It
and
came
then
back so
moved it.
many times.
Yeah, they came back a couple of years ago. Um, I remember the host. Um, I just remember the show. So there was Double Dare, there was like Family Double Dare, there was Super Sloppy Double Dare.
Double Dare 2000.
Yeah, I remember going, "Oh my gosh, I got to get on this show."
hmm
Every year when we have my dad would be talking about summer vacation, where we're gonna go, right? Dad, we gotta go to Universal Studios so I can get on Double Dare. Um, True story, my ex-wife was on Double Dare.
Wow.
They didn't win, they just got shoes and some like radio. But they were like they were cool because at one point they were doing like Reeboks, and then if you were really cool back in the day, they were doing British Knights,
hmm
which I don't even know if they make shoes anymore. But um, I just thought it was cool because like if you can get to the obstacle course, everything at the very end, you got a prize.
Yeah.
I mean, the prizes were crazy too for back in the day,
Yeah, they
like
definitely were.
several thousands of dollars. I'd say like counting if you got the trip at the end, probably a couple thousands of dollars.
Probably, depending on what you got. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want a game system or whatever, depends on what you want.
They started off slow, like there would be like a bike or something in the beginning, but then by the end you'd get like a trip somewhere
Yeah.
for like a family of 4,
Yeah.
which is not the same cost as a family of 4 now.
No.
But it was really cool because if you went to Universal, you could watch the show being recorded there.
hmm
Um, and the host was great. Um, I think I remember when I don't know if you remember this, Double Dare was doing a city to city tour. They came to my hometown.
Oh yeah.
I didn't Yeah, I got a t-shirt. Who knows where that t-shirt's at now? But they did like this whole thing in the park. They had us all set up, and I was like, dude, I'm so excited because the host's gonna be there. No, it was Robin. It wasn't the main guy. So pissed. But yeah, that's an S tier for me. What about you?
Yeah, like I thought we weren't gonna have any S tiers, and then I found Double Dare. I was like, oh yeah, yeah, this is definitely an S tier. I love game shows. I think I don't know if this was the first one that really made me like game shows, but it was one of the beginning shows that made me just love all sorts of game shows. Like I even watched the game show with Julia White that started recently. Like I still watch random trivia or game shows, and that all started with some of these things here we're going to talk about, whether that be obstacle type
Yeah.
courses or just trivia, like figure it out or something. But but yeah, yeah, I think it deserves to be on there. Um, really quick, so you talked about how Double Dare visited your town. Do you remember when Double Dare, or not Double Dare? Do you remember when Adult Swim visited here? Did you go?
I do. I didn't go,
I
but I
went.
remember when they were here because it was on campus, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I bet how crazy was that?
it was really cool. There's a big old meat wad that you could go into. They had a deal with like Capcom. And so like Lost Planet 2 was in there, and like some other random things were in there. And they had like a big band, and it was all free to get into.
Yeah.
But like yeah, I just you don't hear about things coming, like things like this happening anymore. You know, like
No.
it's like when you would watch, oh, I don't remember what exactly, but like there used to be shows or game shows or whatever that they would be like, "Do you want to win a chance to have blah 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 appear at your school? Do this and that." Like that doesn't happen anymore.
No. Well, and another thing on here is Wild and Crazy Kids. They would go from town to town and do these things, and kids would win prizes. Um, and they were in my town as well. It was so packed that you couldn't even get in. I mean, like I was so far back. Um, but this was like a thing. Like they would come to the towns, they would do all this stuff. I think it was actually with Double Dare. I think it was like Double Dare and Wild and Crazy Kids because it was
Hmm.
two different things. I got on neither, just so you know. I got a Double Dare shirt.
So I don't
Only
remember
be-
the show at all.
so Omar Gooding was on this show.
Oh really?
Yeah, a very young Omar Gooding. And so basically they would go from town to town and they would do like things like, okay, so hey, we got this thing here, you have to do this. Or they would ask kids questions and they would like slime kids. It was crazy, like just utter just chaos. Um, they went from town to town. That's what they did. I saw you had it. You might as well just throw it up there.
Yeah.
I I didn't like it as much as some of the other game shows on here. It definitely was like a B-ish. I don't know what your thoughts were,
I just
but
don't remember it, but I'm seeing here it also had a revival in 2002.
yeah, that seems to be the thing. Is like, let's revise this. This is a great idea.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't have any touchstones to this at all. I don't remember this.
I would say it's a C.
Okay.
It was cool. It wasn't like great.
Hmm.
It was like, oh, okay, this is cool. I didn't watch it a lot.
Yeah. Man, there's so many things still on this list. All right, let's go. Linda Ellerby. Um,
We were just talking about this.
this is the stuff that like is good and
Yes.
important on Sunday nights. Why watch something fun when you can be educated about the news around you? And like you do learn certain things or whatever, but like I was a kid. I didn't care. I didn't care about any of this stuff. Now, I will say like that doesn't knock on the program. I don't think like that ruins like where it goes in here. I think my opinions as a kid versus what the program actually stood for and what it is are two different things. Um,
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think it's like a C.
yeah, like I don't think
we
it's
were actually
awful. It would be either like a B or a C somewhere.
we were actually talking about because Linda Ellerby, is that
L
her
or
name?
B, yeah,
Ellerby. We were like, I was like, man, she's not with us anymore. And Alex looks her up and she is still alive.
yeah.
And she's like 90-ish, 80
I
something.
don't remember now. I have to look her up again. But yeah, man, there's so many different things here. That's the problem. Nick News is what it's called. Yeah, I can't even see it now.
She's 80 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. I still think it was a good show. It was good for it, and it wasn't like what was happening in the news. They did do one on, I wanna say one of the wars we were in? Was it maybe,
Yeah,
I don't know,
I don't.
Desert Storm maybe?
Yeah, I don't remember how long it went for because I think we looked it up once as well. But I know it went on for quite a while. Like I think it
It
probably ended in like 2007 or something.
Yeah, but it was, like, cool because it was a show with kids, and she would do a really good job of talking to kids about things, and then there was a couple episodes that were pretty, "I'm gonna hit this point," and it was, like, really big things, I thought, so definitely a C.
Mhm. Yeah. Um, let me see here. Let me see when it ended. Oh wow. It went to 2015. Wait, it's still going? It started again. Yeah. 92 to 2015 and then it ended and then it started 2020 to the present.
She's still doing the show.
Yeah, and someone else. But yeah. All
That
right.
is insane. She has been doing the show. Okay, we gotta put her at a B just for the fact she still does a show at 80 years old.
Yeah.
Good lord.
Yeah. That's a lot.
That
I can
is a
handle.
lot.
All right. Okay. Next thing on the list here. We still have one, at least I have over 15. Um, Legend of the Hidden Temple. Um, See, I don't know, because as a kid, I was really, I really enjoyed it, and I liked what happened and all that. As an adult, Double Dare is better. Do you know?
I agree. My kids love that show. Um, which by the way, my m my, 8-year-old son, that kid could have done those obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
He'd have probably put some of those kids to shame. Um, he would have done whatever. But they love the show. Now the movie scared the crap out of my 7-year-old.
I forgot there
Did
was a
you know that?
movie.
Yeah, there's one scene in there and it scared the crap out of him. I mean, I would say an A or a B. I think it's a great show.
Yeah,
It was a great thing. Not as many prizes as Double Dare. I don't think anything's gonna top Double Dare game show wise on here, but it was still pretty cool.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Man, I'm just thinking about. So we have this local thing that used to exist. I don't know if he's still there, but we used to have this car wash,
Oh my gosh.
and I always thought it was him, like from Legend of Hidden Temple when I was younger, because like there is like this stone face that would like talk to you and be like, "Thank you for coming to my car wash" or something like that, and then you
Oh,
would
it's
go
no
inside
longer
there.
there.
No, like I know
It
that's
was
not there, but for a
Yeah,
while the face was still there, even when it was a
yeah.
different car wash.
It was really cool. It was like all jungle themed when you go through. It was
Yeah.
not a good car wash.
No, it was
It's
an
not like
awful car wash. It was
Yeah, it's
expensive.
not like crew. Yeah, it wasn't like crew car wash or anything like that. But it was cool because you'd go through a jungle and there'd be jungle animals. It's not like the best to get your car clean, and it
Mhm.
was just as expensive. So you'd pay $20. Yeah, I remember that. Maybe they stole that from the set. Maybe that's OMAC
It might
from the
be.
set.
Might be. All right. Whoops. Guts.
Can I just say, Mo, the lady that would explain each one of the things they did, huge crush on her when I was little. I'm okay. I can say that. I'm a married man now. It's okay. Uh, my wife's probably waking up in her
It's
sleep like,
okay.
"What are you talking about?"
Yeah,
Uh, I think it's like a B, or I mean, I don't know. What do you, they did international guts at one point where they got
I
kids
do
from
remember that.
other countries. I thought it was cool because it was actually, I mean, you really did have to have some athleticism to do these things.
Yeah, this is like OG Ninja Warrior type stuff. Um, yeah, I remember Guts, and like I think there's a few Guts as well because I think later Guts weren't as good. I remember those being kind of
Yeah,
boring. But like in this prime, I would say like it's probably like a high B.
yeah.
All
Look at
right,
that. Moving in front of Clarissa explains it all.
I know
Happening.
it is
By the way, there are some on this list I've never even heard
like
of.
this one. I've never heard of this. My brother and me.
No idea. Maybe we should just turn the F into I don't know. We never watched because I
All right, Shelby Woo, you can go down here. Yeah.
yeah, because I never watched it. Um, yeah,
Okay. All right, let's go.
I think that's like no, that's something else. Never mind. I thought that was a Bill Cosby one, but it's not. Okay, sorry.
No, no, it's not. Um, you're thinking of something else, a preschool thing, right? You're
Yeah,
thinking of
I
Little
was.
Bill because it
Yes.
has the same different like it has the same colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not Bill Cosby with Little Bill. A thing I used to watch. Nick Arcade. See,
Okay, so
does this go into S just because they played Cliffhanger, the loop on the third game? Maybe.
I, here's my thought on it. I thought there were other game shows out there. There was what's that one called? Remember the
Out of
one?
control or something.
No, it's like Power something or other, where they would go head to head and they'd have like different games for different high scores, and then you have to answer questions just like this. But
Yeah.
then the winner got to run through the whole big maze thing with the vest on, and they got to put whatever.
Hmm.
If they got down the slide by the time the time ran out, they got everything on the vest.
Yeah.
And they if they got the special game, they got a special like they were giving away like crazy stuff like a TurboGrafx 16 and a bunch of games.
Hmm.
I do like this show. They had their own video game thing they played, and obviously it was like early green screen stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, man. Like I just felt there was, but I like the host,
Yeah.
so I thought he was really cool. I mean, what are your thoughts? I know they played a loop on game, so they're probably gonna go to us straight to S.
Oh man, I can't even find that anymore. I typed in Cliffhanger. I didn't see it, but I've seen that clip before where they're playing Cliffhanger. Um,
Mhm.
because like Cliffhanger is an arcade game that takes I think 3 movies, at least 2 movies. It takes Castle Cagliostro and The Mystery of Mamo, and it just like makes a what's that thing? Dragon's Lair type thing to it where you have to like react in a certain way, otherwise like Lupin crashes, but it's Cliffhanger. um yeah, I don't know. Like real talk, like I really don't know. It's probably somewhere in this B range. um
I'll give you that. I think it's in the B range.
but there,
I don't think it's before Clarissa
no.
or Guts, but we'll put it. Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah. uh let's see. Man, we still have so many things here.
I'm sure a lot of them we could just probably go through.
Cousin Skeeter, this puppet, this Muppet. It's okay.
I remember that.
I do remember it, and I want to say like pretty famous people were in this, right? Like that went to do other things later.
I'm trying to remember that.
Let's see. See, Robert, Richard, Rondell, Sheridan. So like he's the dad and That's a Raven. He was in
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Megan Good is in this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like I remember being there's a lot of people in here who like you just wouldn't think would be in this.
I mean, this would definitely have to be you. I remember seeing the commercials for it. I never watched it, but I do remember the commercials.
Yeah, this was a Snick show for sure, or if not Snick, like somewhere around the era, because it says that it aired in '98, um, from 8 to 9 p.m. block. So like, um, I think it can be in the seas. Like, I just don't remember enough.
Yeah.
Like, I know I watched it. I know I enjoyed it. I don't have an educated um guess to say like where this should actually be just because it's been so long. Um
Yeah. I mean, there was a couple on here that I found. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I kinda remember the show."
yeah.
Um, but not as much as I thought I did. So, yeah, there's a couple left on here that I'm like, I can't give an educated thought to.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Let's go. I grab nothing. Hey dude.
um, I liked Hey Dude. I don't think it's as good as Salute Your Shorts. Um,
I agree.
I I had a yet another crush on there. The one girl, Brad, on there, had a crush on her. Also, Ben Stiller's ex-wife is on there.
Yeah.
So I when you start going down the rabbit hole of Nickelodeon shows from the 90s, I found this thing. So there was a character on that show called Danny, and he just like fell off after the show, right?
Mhm.
There's a whole documentary on YouTube, which you should watch, where they actually are trying to find that guy.
Really?
And they find him, and he's like, "Yeah, I just do construction now." And
Hmm.
looks like a very old version of that same character.
Mhm.
Um, but he talks about it's like they found the group that found him and they said, "Hey, here's the link for it." It's like an hour-long conversation with this guy.
Wow.
I mean, I'll give it to a B. I think it was pretty decent. It's one of those early shows.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's not the one I watched religiously though.
No. I remember this was a show that I remember being fine, but this was the show and we already talked about it. Like I was waiting for Salute Your Shorts to appear. Like that's like what I was looking for out of these two. So,
Yeah,
um
and I mean, you could put that in A.
yeah.
Uh, even when they switched the main character, like second or third season. I don't know if you remember that.
Mm-mm.
So the main character I think was Michael, and then by the second or third season, it was somebody else, main character.
Huh.
And that guy ended up on Boy Meets World, I think, when he was in high school. I just remember Sputnik and Donkey Lips. Now you think about it, some of those names are kind of messed up.
Yeah.
Um, the guy that played Donkey Lips though has a YouTube page, and he talks about being a kid on the show, and he's had some episodes where he did like reunions of everyone. The
Mhm.
guy that played Sputnik, or no, what's his name? The main bully who went around with Donkey Lips, he does a ton of voice work.
Huh.
Isn't that crazy? I
Yeah.
love that show. I remember Ugly.
Mhm.
I think he passed away.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's so many people here. Wow.
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
I
geez.
loved that show though.
Yeah.
I remember when you're singing the song, they were singing the song, and then he's like, "It makes me want to fart."
Mhm.
Gosh, I love that show.
Yeah.
That is on Paramount. Watch it now if before it goes away.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, but yeah, Michael Bowers actually does he what was it? He does a podcast, I guess.
Okay.
So,
Interesting. All right, let's go through some of these that I don't know what they are. What's No One Knows Best? Because I don't know.
I don't know.
No one doesn't know
That's
anything.
a I literally was using, like, a page that had, like, a breakdown of all the Nickelodeon shows ever and, like, the years, and that's how I picked a lot of these.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Um, wait, hold up.
'Cause there's a couple on here that I'm like, I don't
Mm,
know what it is.
what? What? Hold up.
I don't even know what you I don't even know what you're looking up.
I'm looking at the Brothers Garcia right now. So the Brothers Garcia had a reboot on Max called The Garcias.
Really?
Yeah, because the creator had the rights to make a sequel series, so he made his own sequel series. The show had 52 episodes on Nickelodeon. Um, then a TV film. I remember this. I just remember. I don't remember specifically like about it. Like it was kind of like a slice of life type show, live action show. But the one thing I do remember is that it was a it was a Hispanic family. Like it was an actual like Latino full cast. I remember that being interesting and cool because you just didn't see that. Um, especially, I mean, this kind of hit like near the end. Like this was a
Yeah.
2000 show, but like even for that time, like yeah, it was kind of a comedy, but I want to say it was a little more serious. Like when did George Lopez come out? You know, because I feel like this and George Lopez were the things that like kicked off the Latino Hispanic comedy or just shows in general.
Yeah.
Because before then, I mean, the 80s and 90s, I mean, had just white casts like so many,
Yeah.
and then we had black full casts like Family Matters, Fresh Prince. We had all those, so like having something like an actual like Hispanic one was a rarity at that time.
Yeah, yeah, and I think I'd never watched it, so I can't personally rank it. Did
Mm.
you watch any of it or
Yeah, I remember watching it. I can't tell you what it was about. Um, I'm looking here that it was narrated by John Leguizamo.
I
So
mean, at that point there, you gotta put it at a B or a C.
I know, right?
You gotta put it above My Cousin Skeeter.
Oh, we have to, obviously.
Every time I think of John besides the Super Mario Brothers movie, I think of him being in the Romeo and Juliet. Do you remember that one? There was
Hmm.
like a it was like they talked in that language from back then, but it was set in that time period every time.
Yeah. I think about the Mario movie. I made a reference earlier today where we were talking about like it was a stream that wasn't mine, but talking about how like why is Princess Toadstool, Princess Peach, why is she just a princess even though she's the only person in there? Who's above her? I said the fungus, because like how John Leguizamo was talking about like the fungus is talking to me, um, with the whole like king and stuff for inside the Koopa kingdom and all that.
Thank goodness we got the Mario the one Mario movie we got a couple years ago. There had to be redemption.
I guess, but I mean, man, I got that 4K of this movie though. You know, I got that 4K of the Super Mario Brothers live action movie. Nintendo did not want that in the states, so much so that I
They
got this
did not.
4K special edition from Australia. So,
Yeah,
uh,
they definitely
yeah. Um, but anyway, let's go through some of these, the things I don't remember. So we can kind of go through these and then what's Think Fast? Do you know what that
I
is?
just I guess it was just a game show. I don't remember it. I kinda remember it vaguely. Um, it's just another game show on Nickelodeon. I don't remember it being awful.
Yeah.
And Mark Summers was the host of that as well. So
Okay.
I just don't remember it very well. I don't remember that one.
Yeah,
Um,
89 to 91.
maybe What Would You Do had Mark Summers. One of them had Mark Summers in it.
Uh Summers, and yeah, Mark Summers was in What Would You Do? Think Fast. It doesn't tell me. Michael Carrington.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, we could put it as not watched because I don't really remember it. I just made sure to try and get everything in there.
Yeah. What about What Would You Do? I don't remember this either.
Uh, let's put it. I would say a C. It was great. It was like him doing Double Dare, like off the cuff sort of thing.
Hmm.
It wasn't awful.
Okay.
It was pretty good.
Okay. I don't remember Wienerville.
So Wienerville was like a okay. This guy did all these characters where he would do like his face in like his it was his face and the rest of it was a puppet. That was his big spiel what he
Okay.
did, and he showed like cartoons and stuff on there, and he did skits. It was really weird. I'm gonna I would put that as a D. It looking at it now, I'm like, this is pretty messed up. I tried to get my kids to watch it, and they love Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Hmm.
They could not watch this and go, "Dad, this is weird." If you loved Pee Wee's Playhouse and you watch another show that is kind of weird, like Pee Wee's Playhouse, and you're like, "That's weird," to me, that's really awful. I never liked it. I watched 1 or 2 episodes. When we're off this, I'm gonna show you a clip from it, and you're gonna be like, "What is this?"
Like, it's sounding familiar now. Like, now that I'm looking at it. Um, but you just watch Mr. Magoo and the Alvin show and just random stuff like that on here?
Pre
Yeah, apparently.
It was a variety show when
Yeah.
with puppets and stuff. It was from '93 to '97. Oh, man.
And yet they were syndicating the cheap things like the Alvin show instead of Alvin and Chipmunks that was already happening at the time.
Yeah, that's why I would say I'd put it as a D. It was just really, really I felt like if you're gonna have a variety show, you don't need to show other things on there, just do that. It was really weird.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. I don't know what this is.
I don't know what that one is. Never watched it.
The Tina? Tanya? Um, yeah, I don't know what it is. I know what Welcome Freshman is. I've never seen it.
Yeah, I would say it's a late C. It was pretty cool. It had some funny stuff, but then they would get like serious topics.
Hmm.
Um, I watched it when I was a freshman.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Um, let me see here. So we got a few more. We got the good ones ish. Um,
it,
100 Dudes of Eddie McDowd. I hate this show. I think this show is just stupid in a meme. Um, because it's so dumb. Um,
never watched it, so I'll even let you can rank this one. I never watched it.
man, but like, okay, it's a C. Because I don't think it's D territory, but like just the premise, like it's a bully who was just a mean guy, and he he's like just mean to like the main character or to like a kid at school or something. He's like just a really mean guy, really mean bully. And then he does something to upset someone on the street, and you find out like the lady has like mystical powers, and so she curses him into becoming a dog, and so he can't speak um except to the kid who he bullied. um so yeah, he can't speak to anyone except that kid, and he has to do 100 good deeds before like, the end of the year, otherwise he'll be stuck as a dog forever. And so my question is, where are these parents for this kid's at? Because I I
I
I
know, right?
I always wondered that, because I don't think they really addressed it. I don't know if they said like, oh, Eddie's missing or whatever. Um, but he runs in or whatever, and like they end up adopting the dog since the main kid can understand him, since it's just like it's another kid. Um, but like yeah, every episode deals with like him trying to do a good deed. But like there aren't many episodes, so like he didn't do 100 good deeds. So
No,
that kid's stuck as a dog, you know? Like that show never ended.
it was in the realm of, hey, we don't get to know what happens. We don't get to know how this is what is the how does this all kind of go back to normal? Also, if your kid is missing for 100 days and you've not done anything, there's serious problems there. You're not being a good parent.
There were 3 seasons of this, 40 episodes total.
Dang, he didn't even get to the 100.
Yeah, so like he did not do 100 deeds to turn back into a human. Um, so yeah, the last kid who he bullied is the one who can understand him.
I think that'd have been a better movie.
Yeah, I really do think so too. Like I feel like I've said that before in other places, but like it's a good premise. Um, but I don't know. Like it's a good premise for a show too, but like
Yeah,
cut down the 100, you know, cut down the 100. But like
yeah,
every time like he does a good deed or something, I forget if like a noise happens or whatever, but then you just see like the woman who cursed him like in the background being like good job. So
yeah. It's
it's just
I don't
awkward and
remember.
creepy.
To me, I was like, nothing about this is something I want to watch.
Yeah, because this was from let's see, what year was it? Seth Green. Wait, was Seth Green the dog?
I think so. A little bit of
As a
early.
dog, he was voiced by Seth Green. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. 1999 to 2002. So yeah, I think it deserves to be in a seat. I don't think it's an awful show, but I think it's really stupid. But
Okay, the show about salute your shorts of you go to camp and the bully takes your boxer shorts and puts them up a flagpole is okay.
yeah,
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 only because the other main bad kid, the one main kid's name is Donkey Lips.
yeah.
I mean, you can't go wrong with that.
It's true. Um, are there novels for this? All right, we're doing Secret World of Alex Mack. Um, I remember this like vaguely. I remember watching this, but like I'm reading over it again right now. But like basically, like it's a kid who just kind of has random superpowers and stuff, and they are just doing stuff. I don't remember exactly. Um, but it's 78 episodes, and there are also 34 books.
Wow.
Yeah, just misadventures of this kid with superpowers. I don't know if there ends up being more um like more about that kind of stuff, because she like accidentally, it sounds like what happened is like she accidentally gets poured with like radioactive stuff, and like that's how she has just random powers like electricity and um yeah, and then she turned into just a puddle of water, like just stuff like that. This stupid thing. But like and I remember like it was very much a like weird CG era. Like like we didn't put this on here because I don't know what year it was, but it was like Animorphs era. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Um and so but like the Animorphs CG was probably better. So
Yeah.
there's that, and also Animorphs is just good. Um I would say, because again, I don't think this is a D. Like I think it's probably like a C.
I give that. I never really watched any of the episodes, but I just remember it.
Yeah. Um was this the No, that wasn't her. I was thinking of something else. But all right, we got two more. We got the two most important ones.
You
Um,
might as well just both put them in S because
are
I
we
feel
putting
like
him in S?
I have never watched Keenan Cal. So I'll, I'll just break the thing out. I've never watched it, but I did watch episodes of all that, and there, I I will say this that all that had some really good skits. To me, it felt like Saturday Night Live, but for kids, and it was well. The scripts were well written,
Yeah,
th- and it was like Saturday Night Live. Like some skits hit really well, some you're like, oh my gosh, this is just cheesy,
yeah,
but like it was really well done. A huge cast, and a lot of people from that cast did other things.
yeah.
Um,
Like we talked about earlier, Danny, what's his face from Pete and Pete?
yeah,
He was in this.
Amanda Bynes was in it.
Yeah, she was a kid, like a kid in that because she had her whole like Ask Ashley thing, and like she was in. I forget when she was added, but she was really young.
Drake Bell, Jamie Lee Spears.
Mhm.
This one kind of shocks me. Gabriel Iglesias? No, that's not it. The guy that does the comedy, the fluffy guy.
Yeah, he was in all of that, like probably like the 2005 era, 2004 era. There was a weird like reboot era, I thought. Um I'm pretty sure Gabriel Iglesias was in it because like it is him. Like I know
Yeah.
whoever you're
Well,
thinking about, like it is.
believe it or not, did you know Chris Farley was in it?
No.
Yes. Chris Farley was in it. He plays Chief Farley.
Okay.
Wow, that's crazy. I had no idea. Um,
Interesting.
I mean, obviously it's hard because now we're getting into some of the newer cast.
Mhm.
Um, I knew Nick Cannon was in it, first things. So for me, that would be an S. Um, but again, I I put it as an S because I felt like it was just well done, well
Mhm.
written, um, broke a lot of stars out. Um, you know, I mean, what are your thoughts? I think they both should be S, but I never watched the other.
Um yeah, I mean if we're doing that, then yeah, I would say that they should both be S. All that is something that's always stuck in my head. Especially the Keenan and Kel bits, because I think Keenan and Kel really did like there are some people as well there. But like
Yeah.
Keenan and Kel really stole the show. Um
Yes.
the Good Burger stuff. We have the old men like Cletus and whoever, um, who are basically like the two Muppet guys, but just live action. They just be yelling about like, "Hey Cletus, the show's over." Let's see, like there's just so many things. Like the one thing I think of, like this is horrible to say, but I don't care because it's a show. But like, there's certain things that I associate with other things, you know, just because you were a kid. My mom, when I was visiting, was doing like Duolingo or something, and she was doing not she was doing French. The first thing comes to my mind is Keenan in his raincoat in a bathtub with his little duck, just trying to teach you French, and he just goes, like that's all I think about.
I
Like that's the
remember that.
first thing that comes to my head because it's so impressionable, it's so stupid. But like
Yeah.
he did it well. All of his characters were on point. And then like I said, like they did Good Burger later. Um
Which was a huge movie, and then a couple of years ago,
Good Burger
they did
2.
a second. Yeah, my kids watched the second one, except for the part, spoilers, uh, where there was like a spill or something, and she came and she started peeling her face off
Mhm.
because it was like stuff on her face. That freaked my 7-year-old out.
Okay.
But other than that, they loved it. Um, I remember we watched the first one not too long ago, and I was like, "Holy crap, that's Shaq! Shaq back in the day." There was a lot of famous people in the first one. Um,
Yeah, I know. For a while we called one of my friend's brothers Shaq. Like that was his nickname because he used to say pretty good. because there's that scene was like they give him the good burger. It's like, what do you think about the good burger, Shaq? Pretty good. But
Yeah.
just random
Um,
stuff like that in there. Um, there's really good
and
comedy in that too.
yeah, and if you look, Keenan Thomas has been on SNL for like 10 years.
Yeah,
Um, I still remember the episode where um, both of them were on SNL. And they weren't even, he wasn't even the host. They did like a skit and he came out. Uh, and that was super cool. Um, I I've never watched Keenan Kel. I tried to find one episode that you told me I had to watch, and unfortunately, you have to have BET streaming. 2 seasons are on Paramount.
okay,
I think all that is on Paramount as well. I could be
yeah.
wrong.
Keenan and
Um,
Kel is a great show.
yeah,
However, every episode is essentially the same. It gives me high anxiety watching the show because they always just do something so over the top and stupid. Because it's like watching Ed and Eddie, right? Except
yeah.
there's only an Eddie and there's an Ed. So
Oh,
there's no like straight man there to like try to like keep him in line. There's Keenan who like always tries to take the short way out of things and wants to like make money or profit or something like that. He tries to be the straight man, but ultimately he doesn't. There and then there's Kel who's just stupid. He loves orange soda. Why do I still drink orange soda? Because Kel loves orange soda. Like that was weird marketing that worked even though it was so generic. It's just like, yeah, he loves orange soda. Or like when I was watching in Keenan and Kel, like I wasn't really into sports. I just knew that they loved Michael Jordan and they loved the Chicago Bulls so much that I started like the Chicago Bulls because I was a young impressionable kid. um
yeah,
but yeah, like the show, I forget his name, Tom maybe, I forget. There's a guy who like plays Keenan's boss at the little grocery place and he's
yes,
really good. um
yes,
yeah, Chris Potter, Dan Frischman is his name. I don't know, he was in Head of the Class and some other stuff, but like, he is really really good in this show. Because a lot of times it's just Keenan does something stupid. His father gets really mad. Kel does something else really stupid. Um, and then the boss has to deal with it somehow or whatever. Um, but the first episode is outrageous and really fun. So I do recommend that one. I don't remember exactly what it's called. Um, I think it's just called The Screw or something like that. But I was just called The Pilot. Okay. Um wait. No, that's not right. That's not right at all. In fact, that's not right. I thought that was the first episode. The Tainting of the Screw. Um Keenan chokes on a screw that he found inside his tuna sandwich and they try to sue the tuna company for $10 million. That's episode 4. I recommend that episode. That is like top tier, like this is what you expect from Keenan and Kel. And this is
yeah.
like what you should expect.
We were talking the other day because there's a Halloween episode that you said is basically like a movie. It's like
Yeah.
90 minutes long. Who, who was in it? Gosh, there was somebody. Was it George? No, who was it? I can't remember who it was, but the actor that's in it, he had to have passed really shortly after. I was shocked that he was in it. Um,
Yeah, I forget who it was. Leo.
it was someone pretty famous comedian.
Yeah.
Um, I'll have to look up this. I have to look up the season. I think it was like
It's called Two
season.
Heads Are Better Than None. That's what the special's called.
I think it's the fourth season. Uh, I'm looking it up.
Milton Berle.
That's it. Yeah. I was shocked to see him in there because this is definitely not what he would do.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, he was in it. I tried finding the episode, but again, you have to have like, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I definitely think that all that needs to be an S. If you wanna put Keenan and Kel into an A tier, yeah. I never watched it. I watched some of all that. Funny story, and my wife's gonna kill me. She was never allowed to watch all that because her mom was, like, super religious,
Mhm.
and she's like, "Oh, these are all just they're just acting stupid to act stupid, or if there's any show where someone got slimed." I said, "Dude, my dad was a pastor, and that's all we watched.
Yeah.
Your mom's crazy." Her mom doesn't listen to the podcast, it's okay.
All right.
Um, but yeah, I think wherever you wanna put that one there. So,
I
yeah,
think all that and Keenan and Kel are so tied together that I think they just both deserve to be an S at that point.
yeah, I agree.
So, all right, let's read off the final things here. So, S tier, Double Dare, all that, Keenan and Kel. Uh, A tier, Pete and Pete, Are You Afraid of the Dark, Hidden Temple, Salute Your Shorts. B tier, Guts, Clarissa Explains It All. Nick Arcade, Nick News with Linda Ellerby. Hey Dude, Brothers Garcia. C tier, Amanda Show, What Would You Do? Wild and Crazy Kids. I can't read the logo. It's weird. Cousin Skeeter, Welcome Freshman, 100 Deeds of Eddie McDowd, Secret World of Alex Mack, D tier, Wienerville. And then we put Shelby Woo, My Brother and Me, No One Knows Best, Think Fast, and Tanya. We put that in the Don't Know. I was looking at the Tanya. Um, I think I remember it. Like now that like I saw like the little screenshot of it on Wikipedia. But it was one of the last shows to be filmed in the Sunset Boulevard thing. So that's interesting. But not enough to where, yeah, I don't remember it. It was probably one of those things that like happened like near like Cousin Skeeter or something. Like things that were
Oh, yeah.
I was actually watching, but then they're like, here's this other show, and then I flipped it off. Um but yeah, that's our list here. Took a while, but we did, wow, it took a long while. Hour and 20-minute episode. But yeah, this has been an episode of the Get a Gaming podcast where we talk about whatever we want to talk about, and we hope you enjoy that as well. If you like us, you can find us on youtube.com/gaming on Fridays, bi-weekly, and then you can also find us on Wednesdays on Spotify, as well as other audio stuff bi-weekly. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Do you have anything else to say, Ben?
Just to get at it.
Get at it.